to another episode of Ghosted with Criss and Paige. I almost said welcome back to an episode of Criss and Paige.
No,
not exactly.
But I'm Criss,
and I'm Paige. I hope.
And today, we actually just finished up wrapping up American Loser. It's 10:30 a.m. in the morning. Me and KP have been here for the whole entire time. So we have some very special guests for you today, and you wouldn't expect it because we didn't expect it either. We just found it seconds ago. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm from Saratoga Springs. It's an honor to be back on the show. It's so great to be here. I've missed you guys. How you doing?
It's good to see you. I'm glad you could travel up here.
I've also brought my buddy, the Big Kahuna. Hey guys, what's going on? and then I brought my buddy Christian. Hey guys.
So many personalities.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's totally 3 people chilling behind me right now. But yeah, I'm Christian. What's up? How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
It's nice to be back.
Welcome.
And we also have the wonderful KP Burke.
Thank you, man. Yeah, no, I'm very happy. It's good to see all of Christian's personalities on display, colliding with one another at the same time. That's good.
Are you saying you don't see them when he's engineering your show, American Loser?
You know what doesn't make sense to me, though, is that he set up 3 separate microphones for each different personality. I feel like Ming's going to charge more for that. So.
Oh man, I mean,
good to be here with you guys, though. Very honored to get the invite, and always love to hang with my boy Christian, and then obviously Criss, great guy too, and just got to meet you too, Paige.
Yeah,
you guys are lovely
welcome. People. Thank you. I'm so glad you got to come on. I love when we get to bring in other people who are from the shared universe. So it's really nice.
Yeah,
it's like
really
a little
weird.
tight-knit family.
We had an IMDb page of how many podcasts we've engineered and like chimed in on. I wonder what the list would really look like, Christian, because we must have like a whole discography of times where we're like, hello. Throw out a bunch of different podcasts. You could probably almost track it from the days they released.
Jesus. Wow.
Did you pick up on that too, by the way? He flubbed over it and then recovered brilliantly, Criss. But he did say IMDb, which I believe is the filmography for Pornhub. What was that movie Riley Reid was in? Come on, I know this one.
Yo, pull up IMDb.
I know.
I'm surprised that's not a thing already. Started KP. Hop on that train.
Now, yeah.
Copyright shared universe.
I'm sending the patent over as we speak.
See, Criss is on the ball.
Oh my god.
Well, I've been on 2 balls for my whole entire life, and I'd like to stay that way. But I'd like to get these balls rolling because we've got some ghosts that we've got actually some real cool stuff. We've got anonymous stories sent in by some of our listeners who are in a different country right now, which is radical, but they don't like their names being pointed out. So we're going to keep it, just a little secret.
If we get to that today.
If we get to it. And then we have a user submitted story from Reddit.
Yes, from Reddit. I procured another story, and I'm excited for that one too. But first, we'll start off. KP, do you have any paranormal stories of your own?
Well, first of all, let me say, you guys got a cool thing going here. I like that there's people from Reddit, there's people from other countries going on here too. That's awesome. Paranormal story. The only one I could ever think of that got to me, because I think of myself as a skeptic or whatever, brought, so when I was in the Navy, I was stationed in Jacksonville, Florida, and it's a 2-hour drive to Savannah, Georgia. So I actually told this story to Christian off air one time on our show, American Loser. But I went up to Savannah, Georgia, and we were staying at a bed and breakfast. And Savannah's very, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this from what I've been told by multiple people.
One of the most haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the top 3 that St. Augustine, where I also used to go hang out all the time.
That lighthouse. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I've been in that lighthouse. I actually used to hang out at the fort over there all the time. I used to do that. Started my comedy career there too. Another haunted thing.
I wasn't expecting that one.
Talk about things that died a death. But then New Orleans is the third one. I have not been to New Orleans. But when I was in Savannah, it was nuts. We stayed at a bed and breakfast. The girl I was with at the time demanded it, so we stayed at this bed and breakfast. And we then went on like the haunted pub crawl or whatever.
Yeah.
And the people are telling us stories about like, oh yeah, the bartender will be late. First of all, there's the gimmicky part of the tourist thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you hang out for a while and then you talk to people and you engage with the bartenders, you usually get a couple of good stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the one girl's telling us, she goes, yeah, one night I was trying to lock up over here. And just something grabbed my wrist or whatever.
Get the fuck. What?
Yeah. So now I'm still a skeptic, but then I'm going to go back and it was weird too because when we checked into the bed and breakfast, it was in the downstairs and it was in a pet friendly room and we didn't bring our dog with us. Right. Okay. So, and I don't mean to be too vulgar here, but what's the first thing you do when you're having a couple's weekend and you're in a new city and you check into your hotel?
Raw
Yeah,
dog.
you get
Who's pet friendly?
He ain't wrong.
Dog in it? I don't know.
He ain't wrong. But so she and I checked in. It was an anniversary gift too, and we had dinner reservations before this haunted pub crawl, and we fooled around in the hotel room a little bit, right? And left some things, in disarray over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We then, during dinner, get a phone call, all right, from the hotel. And they're like, oh, Mr. Burke, we're so sorry. We gave you a pet-friendly room. We have a guest that requires a pet-friendly room. We are so sorry. We're going to comp your entire weekend here. So, but we do need you to come back and pack your stuff up and clean your room and everything like that, and then move into the other room. And I was like, well, listen, I can't do that because we have a ghost tour we're about to start and we're literally having dinner right now. I can't disrupt that. And the hotel goes, well, sir, if you give us permission, we'll move the stuff for you. So they then moved us upstairs into another room, comped the entire weekend. I didn't tell my girl about it at the time because that way, now your anniversary gift is free. So I got a
It'll
PS3
feel so
out of
much
it.
better.
Nice.
But they moved us upstairs, and then the thing was, the first room we were in was pretty cool. I got a kick out of it. I liked it. When we get back after having a bunch of drinks and a bunch of other, hearing these ghost stories the entire night, I then go upstairs into the upstairs room, and I'm not a guy that gets vibes or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just walked up there and just did not feel good at all. Like everything was throwing me off about it. I couldn't. Me and her were trying to rekindle some of the romance of the evening. It was not happening for me. I was on edge the entire time. All of a sudden, these panic attacks are coming in.
Oh, wow.
And we found out later on what it was is because during the tour they told us that probably like they don't really like the Yankees up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of-
Yeah.
Savannah was when Sherman marched to the sea. That was one of the towns that he occupied. And what some of the soldiers would do is that in the graveyard they would actually take their bayonets and they would carve out different dates from when a person died or was born in the cemetery. So there's people that live to be 1,000 years old, according to their
Oh, my God.
but they were saying, so the last time, and I was talking to my father, and he goes, oh yeah, actually your great grandfather, so Patrick Francis Burke, the first Burke that came over here, was part of Sherman's March to the Sea. And so in case any other I might have been the first family member, if you will, of theirs to be in the city. So was it ghosts of the Confederacy making sure I didn't feel welcome? Because I couldn't sleep that night when my girl was in the shower and I was just losing my mind. I was just sitting there trying to watch sports and I was getting extremely uncomfortable. I was having just a full-on panic attack. Did not feel better until we left Savannah city limits.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the closest thing I've had. I'm super skeptic. I like hearing the stories. They're very fun. I like getting a little bit of a fright to me every now and then, but this was
That one is like
That's
you had an actual physical reaction to a city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it was one of those moments where I was just like, I'm uncomfortable right now and I can't. And as soon as then we got out of there, I was just like, it was like a Xanax hit me out of okay.
The ghosts were like, y'all come back now, you hear?
Yeah, so I do wonder if good old great grandpa Burke maybe fucked around a little bit while he was in the city.
He made a few friends down there?
Very well. I'm telling you, man, I don't get spooked like that, but that one scared the shit out of me. So
What was the
That's
hotel?
wild.
Yeah.
Especially you were fine downstairs. Like, it's kind of weird that you come upstairs and the whole vibe of everything just changes. Like, there was nothing that how do I say this?
There's no
nothing kicked it
escalation.
off. Yeah, like you were just having dinner, going to have fun. You were fine, and then what the fuck just happened?
There's one bar that was the pirate bar over there that they were telling stories about, and I remember I went to go use the bathroom because you have 2 drinks or so at every bar that you're in. And I went to go to the one bar, and I just the restaurant portion had closed, and I was just standing in the room by myself, and that's when this weird feeling of dread came over me.
Really?
Ooh.
And it was because I like looking at old paintings. And this one old painting of a ship out there just started messing with me. And they're like, oh, this is the pirates. And what used to happen here is that people would routinely get shanghaied into service.
Oh,
Whoa.
And at the time, I was in the Navy, too. So I was I was like, oh, okay. So I wonder if the ghosts of the people who are shanghaiing are like, oh, cool. So I don't know if it's that or maybe I was just having a panic attack. I have no idea. But that particular place unnerved me to the point where I wouldn't want to be there anymore.
Wow, that's nuts.
That's so... And especially because you're a skeptic, like, that's even more validating in a sense that something was off. Because you're not going there, like, I'm a person who's going and I'm waiting and expecting something to happen. I want it to.
She's
I will
super open
manifest
to it the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, I will manifest something. So, like, it's more exciting. I love when I hear stories, like, from someone who's like, I wasn't expecting it. I didn't ask for it. Like,
well, my ex thinks that she had ESP or something like that because she walked into a place in Tampa one time and she just goes, I'm getting this overwhelming smell of flowers. And it turns out that the bridal shop, she was shopping for a wedding dress. That didn't work, by the way. But she walked in and she goes, I'm just getting this overwhelming smell of flowers. And they're like, well, we don't sell flowers here. And then somebody, one of the older women, she goes, actually, this place used to be a funeral home back in the day.
Good.
She was smelling old flowers.
Oh, so this was all her fault, basically.
Well, she was nuts that way.
I'm seeing a thread here.
And then the final one, and then I'll shut up, I promise, was St. Augustine. We went to Ripley's Believe It or Not.
oh, fucking Ripley's.
Right?
Oh, man.
And, have you guys been?
Yes, I've been to a few. The one in Atlantic City, I think the one in New York, and the one in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
I've been to the one in New York. I haven't been to the one in Atlantic City. And I remember we looked at the one in Baltimore.
Oh, that's right. We went, yeah, not paying for that.
Is that the one that's like, it looks like a building upside down? Like, because I know the Ripley's Believe It or Not, one of them has like an appearance of an upside down building.
That's it. There's one in Tennessee. It's not a Ripley's, but it might be owned by the same company. And yeah, the building is upside down and it's crazy. I went in there.
Okay.
And there's all the science stuff.
That's
it's
cool.
like Ripley's and Liberty Science Center put together. So that's the best way I could describe
Well,
it.
I'm
That's a weird
sold.
baby to have.
All right.
St. Augustine's is weird because it's like a castle-looking place. I believe that's the one where they filmed the show. The Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's where they were filming it on location there. So, but when you go there, it used to be a hotel, and apparently, and I remember, again, this is my ex who swore she had this, and I would deny it all the time, but there was some weird stuff.
Sounds like me. I'm always like, oh God, do you feel that? Do you see that?
And I'm just like-
you hear that?
Well, they take pictures of orbs and stuff a lot out there. You see orbs all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So we're on this thing, and they're like, they give you like this this thing where like, oh, it's going to help you detect ghosts or whatever if this starts to light up. And I was like, no, this is TGI Fridays to let me know. That's what this thing is.
Oh, man.
But we're in the room, this big giant room where they're presenting all these weird like animals that have been captured and taxidermy through it. And my ex just starts going, she actually pulls the tour guide aside and she goes, I'm just getting like a real sense of something in this room. Because actually, this is probably where the room was where one of the guests was murdered when this was a hotel.
God.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
so she definitely.
Oh, she was sensitive.
yeah.
She was in tune with something.
Oh yeah, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Sorry, but those are my. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a diatribe, but you got me fired up now talking about it. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's all good. No, I'm loving this. This
Wow.
is the content, baby.
As she said, it's like when you hear it from someone who doesn't typically believe in stuff like that. It's
way cooler.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
way cooler. Oh man, that fucks me up.
Well, Christian knows I'm a skeptic on that too, man. But it's that's just my two stories right there.
No,
No, but that was awesome.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Because to be honest, I kind of figured you were a skeptic anyway, which is great. Because most, like, 95% of the time, I'm pretty skeptical of a lot of things.
Yeah.
There are many things I'm not skeptical of. But I've had a few experiences at this point. I've got a few orbs from, like, the National Museum of History. Yeah, in the dinosaur room. Yo, if I caught dinosaur ghosts, wild. If I caught Native American ghosts, upsetting.
This is the one part of Night at the Museum that they left out.
Yeah.
They were like, let's not talk about this part.
But and then I had the one time where there was smoke that popped out of my room that had no like
No reason to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you're not Bud.
No, not only is it not Bud or on fire, but there's no ash. It was just by my guitar, and that's made of wood. That's important.
And I saw it 20 minutes before he did. I saw a mist fall from his ceiling.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, what the fuck was that? 20 minutes later, he comes out, he looks at me and starts saying something. And he looks at the ground. He goes, what the fuck? And I'm like, did you see smoke too? He goes, my guitar's on fire?
Yeah, for real. I was just kind of like,
Where's that coming from?
Yeah, I was just chilling on the ground, and I have no clue. I mean, it was a thick white, like, blurb coming from the ceiling out of nowhere.
My guitar hit a bong or something, and it just happened to be like, bleh.
But man,
See, in Scooby-Doo, they would have been like chewing gum and tobacco strings or whatever. Like, they would have, like, explained it in some weird-ass way.
Oh, my God.
Let's see who was really responsible. It's Sam Ash himself.
Old man Gibson.
Oh, wait a second. Was it your Jericho or was it your...
No, it was my mattress cowboy.
I mean, the person who... So I got him this guitar for Christmas last year, and it was owned by someone who died, and so the family sold it off. So maybe his ghost was coming in to check on it.
No, he left it there and then died.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Maybe he was like, how's my guitar doing? Because it's like super personalized, customized. It has a metal plate of a cowboy on it. So
From a license plate.
Yeah.
Like on the
So
front.
it's really customized.
This has to be a cool looking guitar.
It
is.
is pretty friggin' cool looking. And I fell in love with it instantly. And then I went in the next day with cash in hand. And the guy was like, nah, man, it's fucking sold.
It was sold to me.
I was like, how? You just fucking opened. I got the cash.
I left my purse in there on purpose. And I was like, oh, I left my purse. Hold on. I ran. I was like, yo, Criss, put the guitar aside for me. I'm paying for it tomorrow. And he's like, I won't let him see it.
What a romantic way to give yourself something possessed by a demon. You know?
I was hoping it was going to be a demon of rock and roll. But now it's just an old smoker who has like a 2-pack-a-day problem.
Wait,
Now it's your problem.
It's an acoustic guitar?
No, it's an electric guitar.
Oh, it's an electric? I was like, oh, it's a Crossroads demon for sure. Jesus.
Oh, man, mashed potatoes Johnson? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
When we were in Georgia, we did go to that Confederacy graveyard.
Yeah.
That had
I don't remember
some-
what it was, but it was huge. It was right by the Gone with the Wind tour. It was over wherever that is, Marietta, Georgia, something like that. Mm-hmm. It was just this giant cemetery. And I'm running around looking for ghosts. It's the middle of the day, and I'm just like, where are the ghosts? I'm taking pictures. You saw something.
I think I did,
I think it was that graveyard. I think we've talked about this before.
but I definitely, I was more interested in like, look at all these soldiers who just dropped dead. Look at they've been here forever. Yeah.
The structures in the graveyards over there are really cool too. Like they have beautiful cemeteries.
They do. They're
this
all
one was
kept
configured
nice.
for like in a specific shape. If you had like an aerial view of it, it looked like something.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like a flag, I believe.
Wow.
So
The crazy cemeteries that I've seen have been in Louisiana and New Orleans because they don't bury their dead.
Yeah,
There's like something
they're
wrong
like-
with the ground, so all the graves are elevated, so you'll always find like crypts and stuff like that.
Oh, man.
So you'll walk like a New Orleans cemetery is like the creepiest thing to me,
It's up
but
there.
really cool. Oh man.
Now I didn't mean to. St. Augustine, you guys have been or no?
We were very close to going last September.
it was on the tip of my lips.
I'm
right
obsessed
there.
with it. I want to go to the lighthouse. I've heard stories of this lighthouse for years, specifically a few ghost hunter episodes that got me hooked. But I've
It's one
heard
of the most intense ones. I
yeah,
think, they say, right?
they've said it's one of their favorite episodes they've ever done, and they always want to go back. And I'm like, well, I want to go now. I want to walk up this giant freaking
I want to check it out.
lighthouse.
I'm trying to get my exercise there.
I'm trying to get my steps and find some ghosts.
Well, I have a lighthouse fetish actually that I love. I'm drawn to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, but I being there was really cool. It was kind of breathtaking. That whole area is gorgeous. I'm actually heading down there for the next 2 months. So. And there's also actually I found right by my buddy's house. I mentioned it to Criss on Loser the other day. That I found it. It's in Confederate Park, and it's an old Civil War cemetery that I'm going to go bring a camera onto and try to find when the people died.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that could be kind of very interesting.
That's
so,
going to be cool.
I love stuff.
I might ask for a follow-up episode.
No, please. Please come back, please. I love this
insist.
stuff. I love history. So I love walking through cemeteries, even just not for like ghost things. I like doing etchings of like the graves.
Boy,
like,
does KP have a podcast for you?
yeah, right.
Let me tell you about a little thing we work on.
Like I've always been that person. Like even as a kid, I love going to learn about different towns and like doing these little history tours while everyone else is like, can we just go to the beach or something? I'm like, but I want to learn. So
yeah, that's what we like to do. Going around, like going to like the history of places, getting some knowledge. It's fun.
That knowledge.
Yeah, right.
I remember when I was a kid, my dad had this, and they still sell them in like Barnes and Noble, but they had like this really cool old photo book of Jersey City. And that really sparked my like love of history. That my dad was like, hey, this is where I grew up. And he showed me the picture in the book and then he literally drove us over. So he was like, this is what it looks like then. Look out the window. So I remember, I forgot what the brand is, but there was
this
also...
AT&T store used to be a Jamba Juice.
But I'm totally blanking on the brand of books, but they're so dope.
Because they do all the cities.
Yeah,
right?
they do all the cities, but there's a lot of
Asbury
Jersey.
Park one.
Yeah, there's a Woodbridge one too.
Mm-hmm. The one with Howell was like super thin. I was like so disappointed. There's like nothing about my town.
Oh man.
Silver is like 3 pages, and it's like, this was a brothel. Still a brothel.
All you need is a little silver.
Oh, quality.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go, KP. Steal that for your act.
That's it. Game day.
Oh man. Oh, I love this.
Do you want to roll on into this?
Well, wait, I wanted to ask Christian because
Oh, yeah.
I know you still have some stories that we haven't touched upon yet.
Did I tell the one on there already though? Did I tell one about my dad?
No, I think we didn't talk about your dad. You were saving it for this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know this one, and this one, he spooked the shit out of me 2 Halloweens ago. I'm excited
Perfect.
now.
So
get ready.
My dad was a musician in his time while he was still here, and he loved doing music. Now, I was always the film kid. I didn't start doing music until maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. And my dad passed away 4 or 5 years ago, roughly. Like, I'm always terrible with that shit. So one day I'm in my room and I'm working on music. Now, mind you, I pick up on vibes too. But I'm also like you, where I'm like, is this just because it's late as fuck and I'm just ready to go to bed?
Sleep deprived.
Like I'll try and debunk my own vibes, and then my own vibes will be like, nah, motherfucker, you experiencing this shit. So I get that vibe, and I'm like, this is weird, and then followed up by the feeling of, oh, I'm being looked at right now. And then I look around my room, and it's clearly empty. My door is closed, and all this is going on, and I'm working on music, and then all of a sudden, I get like a very familiar feeling around me, where I'm just like, oh, I'm getting goosebumps now.
Yeah, I see
But like,
that.
I get like this very familiar feeling, and I didn't say it out loud because I was gonna get like emotional. I was like, I didn't want to say it, so I was just like, just chill. But then all of a sudden, I swear, where we're at in the shared universe, we're at the table. My bed is technically where it would be behind me. My bed compressed. Like someone sat in it, and I saw it, and I heard it.
Like when someone sits on like the side of the bed, like,
Yeah.
you know, like legs hanging off,
Like straight up, like where you hear like the springs inside it go
Yeah.
down. And but here's the weird thing though, like I was unnerved, but I wasn't scared because I think it was either my dad or my uncle, because my uncle also did music, and I think it was my dad only because I had only just started doing music. So I feel like it was him trying to be like, yo, what's she working on? So it was cool, but then I looked at it and I was like, Pop, if that's you, it's great to see you, but you're freaking me the fuck out right now, and I'm really trying to nail this beat. And I feel like when I said beat, I feel like something clicked, everything went away, the feeling went away, and then the bed uncompressed. And I was like,
so
okay.
crazy.
I went to bed after that. I was like, that's enough for me.
That's an emotional
Yeah.
high you gotta sit with.
Yeah, that's probably like the craziest paranormal experience. One of 2 that are like, but it was cool because I knew I felt like I knew who it was.
It was comforting.
It was comforting. Still freaky as fuck.
Yeah, no.
And when my dad would attest to that, like because he loved ghosts like I did and shit like that. So he would have been like, nah, son, I don't even like that. So I think that's my ghost story.
Oh,
See, like, I enjoy the whole, like, facet of relatives being able to come and join you, but it's just, like, they don't have time to set up appointments. They just kind of come and go.
They just kind of come and go.
They become the drunk relative who kind of comes up and is like, hey, let me tell you a few stories, sit down. Got time to crack a beer? I will crack a beer.
You know what I'm scared of? Just on a weird side note, so Christian knows this about me. I don't know if it ever came up in conversation with you, Chris, but I'm actually adopted. So then the fear is if it's your relatives looking down on you, now they're still total strangers.
Oh, yo!
So that one will mess with me. So, I mean, I won't lie.
Speaking of messing with, the first time I told you that story was the funniest thing in the world. Because, this dude was legitimately spooked. Mr. Skeptic over here.
You, me, and Angelo Gingerelli. That was our Jersey Devil episode, A Loser.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Self-plug.
I'm good at those. I just find a way to say it. But yeah, the biological thing is weird. So if your family does come to visit you, you sit there and be like that. Like your story is actually, now the second time hearing it, I was like, that's a beautiful story. You know what I mean? My thing is like, if I see an old man in my dream, like, is that a grandfather I never met kind of a thing? Like, what's the deal here?
I've got those. I was adopted too when I was 13. So I've got a whole side of the family that I have no idea anything about at all.
No shit.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh my God, I never thought about that. Not in a million years would that have ever crossed my mind until right this very second.
Well, when you go to heaven, if you believe in heaven, and you go to heaven and they say that you're going to go be with your loved ones, is there going to be like a thing where I'm showing up and I was like, my parents are around here somewhere.
This is the weirdest fucking family reunion I've ever been to.
Yeah, a lot of big-headed, cop-faced Irish. What's going on here, man?
I swear to God, I brought my ID. I'll show you.
Oh, man.
I was just thinking about this. I'd hope that I would be naked when I show up there. So all I would have is nature's pocket. And it would be a very interesting show to be like, yo, St. Peter, I've got this cool party trick that I just learned when I died.
Oh, my God.
That's a mad dong if we know. Step right this way, sir.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Outstanding.
I can't.
I'm surprised and I shouldn't be.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I've got one more ghost story
Yo.
I just recently had this conversation with my friend because they reminded me there was a plane crash across the street from my house. In the woods of my house, and
Like a whole now,
like a single engine plane crash, like a very small plane, but literally in the woods across the street from my house.
that is some fucked up Hey Arnold shit right there.
It's weird. So I'll never forget that night because I was hanging out in my room and I heard this loud bang that I truly thought like something fell in my house, and then I look out. Like the main window in my house, because when you walk out in like the main foyer area, there's a huge window. And I look out and I see a small fire billowing, and then I go outside and I hear my neighbors yelling, there was a plane crash.
Oh my
And then all of a sudden, like hundreds of like local PD and fire departments showed up, and a major fire in the back and across the street from me. And I was like, oh shit. So maybe about 5 years after this point passes, me and my friends are walking around. It's like it's late. It's the summer, and it's nighttime at this point. So we're walking past my house, and somehow it came up in conversation, and we were all like, "Let's go look at where this happened. Like, let's go see what happened." And then we go back there. So it turns out they pulled most of the wreck out.
Oh,
but they left pieces. So we go back.
The pilot?
Okay, creepy enough. He didn't make it. But we go back there and it's not like you're an asshole, not pieces of the pilot, but like there's little pieces of the plane still there, and we're looking around in the dead of night. Like it's late.
The perfect time to obviously investigate whenever you're.
Well, we didn't think about we didn't think it was going to be haunted. But the weird.
He's saying we too, so it's Christian, a Great Dane that accompanies him.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Shaggy friend at me like so KP. You don't know about my adventures, man. Anyway, so we're hanging out and we're looking and we're just like, oh, this is crazy because we had forgotten this had happened. And then all of a sudden, my friend Anthony was like, yo, turn around. And we all look behind us and there's this large, it didn't look like a shadow, but it looked just this black mass. Like that, like we couldn't see through it. That's how we knew it wasn't a shadow. It was like, it wasn't a tree, and it was almost a little misty. So I was like, we noped the fuck out of there as quickly as we could. Never been back there since, but I asked my neighbor who lives across the street where this happened and if they've ever seen anything. They're like, we think, but we haven't personally. Like, we would feel things. And I was just like, yeah, no, never again. So that part of Parkside, I'd actively stay away from.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, and you had a plane crash in front of your house. That's wild.
It's weird. It's so fucking weird. So yeah, my 2 ghost stories. Boom.
Oh my gosh. This is, wow.
Well, there goes the rest of the Reddit story is totally low tier now.
Hell no. Depending on where Reddit stories are always gold, because I love those Reddit ghost stories.
I do too. I'm constantly in the threads and I'm like, what's going on, guys? I want to hear everything you have to say.
Please, just submit to us.
Tell me your stories.
Yeah, exactly. All right, this comes, okay, I have to look how I pronounce it.
You got to be careful with Reddit, though, because then it'll be like a great ghost story, and at the end, they're like, also, and the Jews are responsible for it.
Oh, God.
We'll see.
That's why I pre-read everything.
Really?
I comment, can I share this? And if I see something a little fucky, I'm like, nope. We're going to keep scrolling.
Good policy.
I've seen that before. And that's the, like, 3 things are, like, really great. And then, like, snuck in there's like, oh, but the Holocaust never happened. But let me tell you how this story happened with the ghost. And I'm like,
this was a muffin recipe.
whoa! I was like, what? I just wanted to learn.
I thought this was a review of Come Up at Christmas Carol. What the hell? What do you mean? Slavery didn't happen.
Yoicks.
That or the Loch Ness Monster.
Zoinks.
I've had the Loch Ness Monster be the only other thing that gets me every time. You know, from South Park, the Tree Fitty thing. The story is super involved, and it's like, and then out of nowhere, a 10-meter beast from the Mesohistoric period shows up and asks for Tree Fitty. And I was like, I just invested like 10
so much time into this.
into reading this story, and that's what I get out of it. Nice.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we vet them.
Fucking
Yeah.
Reddit.
We bring in vets and we vet them.
Ooh, this fucking guy.
Well, you got KP.
Exactly.
So
Strong. I didn't mean to completely sandbag your story. You were about to start reading.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce their name, their username. I'm trying to give credit.
And something.
Anamoya.
There it
so
is.
Anamoya 793.
I caught that one time.
What?
Anamoya? Yeah,
yeah,
it was a
that's
terrible debacle for at least 3 years. My skin fell off.
yeah, it was a rough time. I remember that.
Yeah.
I usually have something to throw at you, and I don't today. You're lucky.
I mean, I got this.
I mean,
as I hold up a glass cup that I'm like,
that's called night-night. Like, goodbye. Sorry, Dukes.
so set the stage for this story.
Okay. Thrift store ghosts.
Okay.
A haunting story. My husband and I just had our 9th anniversary yesterday. Everyone who knows us knows that we met in a thrift store in the Midwest, but not a lot of people know about the other stories from that place. The place was creepy from the start. It just always felt off in there, and no one wanted to stay long after lights went off. My husband and I would hang out behind the building often, which was a bit open. What? Which was an open field with a raised plateau to the east.
Okay.
We'd find Indian bead fossils in the old limestone rocks that cluttered the area, and enjoy getting outside on our breaks. You definitely didn't want to be there when you didn't have to be, though. To start, every morning there would be strange sounds, including banging on the side door, hangers shifting on the racks, bags rustling, and the creaking of shopping carts. Our manager, a devout... I'm bad at pronouncing words, guys. I apologize.
Let's just say Catholic for now.
Let's just say devout Christian woman
Okay.
would get there before everyone else. Surprising to us, due to her religious beliefs, she admitted to experiencing the same things that we had. Although for her it was worse due to getting there before everyone else. They are out there, she said. That's why I always stay in the back until other employees get here. So many times I've heard someone knocking at the door and no one's ever there when I open it. No, thank you. Another weird aspect was the strange clanking sound that would happen every night. It sounded like it was up on the roof or in the rafters. After lights went out and our employees headed to the back, it would start. At one point, I invited my medium friend over to cleanse the property. The clanking noise went away for a few weeks and then slowly returned, getting louder and louder. Oh God, if I had someone come in to make it go away, and then it just comes back a few weeks later stronger than ever, I'm gonna leave.
I'm like, no.
I'm out.
I'd ask for my money back. I'd be like, Macklemore's still fucking here. Like,
oh my god, I forgot about that song. Oh
Well, who do
no.
I hire to get rid of that? Like, I can't call maintenance or like the landlord and be like, "Yo, we've got some ghost clanking going on. Can you bring your guy in?"
Ghost clanking, I know about how to fix that. I need $20 and a bag of toenail clippings. I got this.
I've been to a Midwest thrift store in Oklahoma, and I picked up a radical Ninja Turtle shirt and some awesome jorts. And it didn't seem haunted at the time, but I bet money that at night, because that was in the middle of fucking nowhere, it was probably the worst.
Yeah, it had a label on the back of it, the back of the jean shorts out in Oklahoma. It said, property of T. McVeigh. So
Fucking can't.
weird.
Oh my god.
Oh man. All right. Some strange experiences were a strange cigar smell that came and went, a sound of a woman humming when no one was around, and a music box that went fully wound once after the lights were turned off.
Fuck
that.
all of that noise.
I can
That
deal
would
with
get
the
me.
smells.
Nah.
I can deal with a woman humming because I hear the ghosts in
But
my
a
house
music
talk all the
box?
time. But yeah, fuck the music box.
It sounds like a mix between squatters.
What happened at my house? Wait, do you remember that?
No.
Wait, my dad had an old Disney
Oh, that's
Box?
even worse. Under the sea, under the sea.
It would just play the it would just play
You ain't never had a friend like me.
See? It just never works out in a good way.
Zippity doo dah.
oh god. That means a demon's here and I gotta go. No, thank you.
What a wonderful day.
What is the song? M-I-C-K-E-Y-M. It would just
the Mickey
be
Mouse
that.
Club?
Yeah. It would just be the jingle to that. And this thing had been broken for years. We got it out of the basement so my dad could see if he could take it somewhere to get fixed, and it just started playing by itself.
Nah.
Yeah, no, I don't.
He took it somewhere to get it fixed, and then it started up by itself without.
He didn't take it. We just brought it out of the basement.
Oh my
way worse.
god, this isn't a ghost story, but it's a really funny prank.
Oh.
We have an old Toy Story You've Got a Friend in Me music box that I had from when I was a baby.
Yeah.
You turn it and it's like an old it's old for the 90s. So one day we're home alone and I'm in my room and then all of a sudden I hear that shit playing and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I go downstairs because I thought I was by myself. And my brother just scared the shit out of me. And he was like, surprise! And I was like, motherfucker. Oh, man. I hate you for that, Brandon.
If you're home alone and you hear music, don't follow it.
That's not fair. You can't tell that to a musician.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Are you saying like you start jamming with it? Like I should.
Hell no. You're like, where the fuck is the music? Just follow it. No. So wait, this keeps going.
There's more. I'm sorry, I interject all the time. Once on my day off, I had my strangest encounter. I was walking down an aisle and saw a regular customer at the other end. I was in an Alice in Wonderland dress because that was part of my aesthetic at the age. Fittingly, mid-conversation with the regular, a teacup flew off the shelf and landed a couple feet in front of my Mary Jane shoes. I estimate it traveled about 3 feet to the right and then 3 feet back towards me.
Excuse me?
I forgot about this part. It was definitely not a situation of just falling off the shelf. The regular just stared with his eyes wide while I went to get a broom. Nothing strange surprised me at that store.
Well, that ghost isn't a Disney fan.
Apparently not.
So, damn. See, the 3 feet in front, okay, I get 3 feet back.
Yeah. I was like,
It was
ooh,
gonna
gotta put it in
stop 2
reverse.
times when it
That ghost is trying to prove it's real.
Oh, man. The weirdest encounter of all belongs to my husband.
wasn't the weirdest thing. That's my worst
We keep
part.
going, baby. We got more. I've been excited for this one. The weirdest encounter of all belongs to my husband. Right after he turned the lights out and was heading to the back, he noticed an elderly man standing behind the center clothing rack. These racks were about 5 foot tall, so he could only see the bald head and his glasses peering over. He got a bit angry at this point, telling the man that they were closed and he needed to leave. As he came around the rack, though, no one was there. The man had vanished because he was never really there at all.
Oh, it was just Larry Burke.
Oh, Jesus. Inside baseball.
Throughout the year I worked there, there were too many strange experiences to write off. There was definitely something going on at that location, some sort of energy either attached to the land or to the items themselves. I visit whenever I can go back to my hometown, but it officially closed this year due to the strain from COVID. I do wonder what will go on in its place, though, and if new employees will experience the same thing.
Me
And
too.
that's it.
A nice, shiny Amazon warehouse.
Oh,
Oh, God.
yikes.
I do have one piece of good news for a follow-up on that, is that the ghost died of COVID.
Oh,
So
Oh, man.
that's at least some good news.
Well, see, there's a silver lining to all this, you know?
I like that they met at a thrift store. That's actually kind of romantic, where it was like, she's there shopping for discount jeans. He's there due to a judge court ordering it.
Oh, my God.
oh man. I like that story though.
Right. As soon as I saw thrift store, I love going into antique shops and thrift stores because the energy is always fucking wild in there and you find some crazy shit.
I have found some crazy shit at thrift stores. I nearly bought an iPod at that one in Oklahoma because it was $20. Exactly, man.
I would have just bought that shit. Jesus.
I was on tour. I didn't have $20.
That's fair.
It was
True.
lunch for 2 days or music.
I mean,
Come on, man.
Music.
You would love St. Augustine, then, some of the weird ones, because they have old diving stuff that's in there.
Oh, that's the cool shit.
Yeah, so there's a couple really cool antiques, because that was half the fun of going in there, was buying some of the weird stuff.
Yeah.
We bought a couple of things. There was one guy that was making art out of driftwood, and by the way, he could totally be full of shit. He was taking driftwood and things that he found from Hurricane Katrina, and then was making art out of them. So it was kind of a cool thing there. But there was a couple of really cool purchases that we made, like of art pieces and stuff from the area. But it was some of the clocks in there were kind of haunting. There's one clock that was in there that every time I look at it, all I can picture is Hook with Dustin Hoffman as it was like you could picture this clock in the crocodile's mouth.
Yeah.
It was a pretty intense thing. I hope you guys get down to St. Augustine soon. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, man. I want to so bad after this goddamn pandemic.
Yeah, I
want to
remember
vacation once this pandemic is over.
going to Florida last September. It doesn't even feel like we went to Florida. Man, we went to Disney during a hurricane. We thought that was wild.
crazy. That's right. There was like no one there. It was great. I forgot about that. I forgot there was a hurricane.
Yeah, no, we were in the pool while I was going by. And we're like,
Look at that.
wow, those quads are fast.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, everyone was like super like, oh, this is going to be a crazy friggin' hurricane. Some of our neighbors had like shit boarded up, and the day of, we were like, all right, it's here.
It's a bit windy.
Okay. You want to go to the pool? Yeah, let's go to the pool before it starts raining.
Go ahead and go to the pool.
Hey, that's a great impression of me. KP, I do have a question for you though, man. I know you promoted yourself as a skeptic a lot, but looking back, do you think you've ever had an experience that you wrote off as skeptical, but then you reflect on it and you're like, maybe there was some weird origin there?
There's some stuff I get. People tell me stuff sometimes. That'll be a weird one. It's not exactly paranormal, but multiple times I've been approached by either strangers randomly or other people that got to know me. Then they say, because I look mean. I'm not a mean guy. I think
I wouldn't say you look mean.
I look like a cop, so that's disarming to some people. But it's once people get to know me a little bit, or they get through my sarcasm or whatnot, then they'll feel comfortable telling me. So I had 2 writing teachers tell me this, and then I've had multiple strangers just come up to me out of nowhere and just be like, I just want you to know you have the most blue aura I've seen on somebody. So I don't know what blue means.
I'm looking that up right now. I was like, I don't know what that
but
means.
a blue aura was an interesting one for me there. And then
Interesting.
yeah, there's been a couple weird ones. The St. Augustine stuff spooked me out a little bit. To deny as a skeptic, there'll be times when you're just like, oh yeah, there's no way this ghost thing happened or whatever. But there was, I'll say this one. I went on a hunting trip with my Uncle Paul, who Christian knows again. And
The only person who's ever drawn a fan art of me.
he painted Christian.
It's one of the coolest pieces I have. Like, I love that.
amazing.
It's awesome.
Well, he took me down to, and it's a property in Estill, South Carolina. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. But it's an old southern plantation, right? That's been turned into a hunting lodge. So the main building itself is where the Wi-Fi is, and I forget what game I was trying to pay attention to, but you had Wi-Fi there, so I was checking football scores, and I was by myself at like maybe 11 o'clock because everybody goes to bed super, and the house just starts to make noises, and you're hearing stuff, and you're like, "This okay." So this is an old school style Southern plantation. There's photos on the wall from everything. I mean, from going way, way back. This property's been here since the 1700s. And there's old slave quarters when you're first pulling in there that was detached from the building. And the place is very authentic. And that was one of those times where I denied that I was hearing anything because I wouldn't have slept that night. But I was like, let me get the fuck out of this. So I ran back
quick as possible.
Yeah, that was one of those nights when you were glad you had a roommate. When you're like,
All right, oh man, he's still breathing. Cool.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
and my roommate was a cop, a Patterson SWAT officer, actually. So I was
shit.
like, all right, this is the guy I want to be with here. This is
But like, still, like, see, going to a place like that, and knowing the history behind it, I'd already be like, all right, well, something a little funky's going to happen. It's been here for what, 300 years. Mm-hmm. So
The minute you said Southern Plantation, I was checked out. I was like, I already know. I already know.
Yeah, so exactly. So some traumatic experiences happened here, regardless of the situation, and it's probably all over the property. So,
that energy doesn't leave; it seeps in.
So
weirdest side note was that due to some sort of a weird agreement they had with the property there was because they were it was a more lenient as if there's such a thing as a progressive plantation, but there was some sort of an agreement that with I believe it was like sharecropping post-war or something like that they actually were being fair to the people that were now emancipated. So the people who live on the property that will then either work as cooks or take you out as guides and stuff like that. The guy who would then, pretty much every part of the whole thing is direct descendants of people who did work the land as slaves, and they get to live on the land for free. So, which can be a goofy thing that when the trail guide is telling you, goes, all right, so about 100 yards up the road there is going to be where you're going to go. You'll see your tree stand. You'll go up there. There's going to be a light coming from a house over here. Do not shoot at that guy's house. That guy's a property owner out here. So it was very weird that the people, the land is very much a part of who they are. So that was a bit of a trip too. And that their pictures of their grandfather and stuff like that are on the wall when they would have the different hunting weekends for them. That's definitely
crazy.
It jarred me a little bit. That's one I denied to answer Christian's question. So sorry, I didn't mean to go on another rant there.
No, that's awesome.
That and a blue aura. That's about all I'm good for.
I have the blue aura meaning. Blue is the color of the throat chakra.
Isn't it?
Shit.
I mean, only you can do that, honey. Blue is the color of the throat chakra, ruling communication and self-expression. A true lighter blue in the aura is
Indica? I get it. Now.
Indicative of a person with natural expressive gifts and the ability to speak their truth. Individuals with light blue emissions in their energy field have an inner knowledge and wisdom and tend to relay their feelings to determine what is right without needing outside facts or data. These expressive dreamers place a great importance on personal relationships, honesty, and clarity. And communication is very important to them. They love to gather and share wisdom and would make great philosophers. The lighter blue of your aura, the more peaceful and positive energy you project.
The lighter blue? So, like, I need to know the spectrum now. Does it go from, like, some...
I don't know. Next color was the turquoise. So, my face is numb, so I can't speak for shit today.
It's A-okay. I totally understand. But the only aura I've ever heard has been amber being the color of your energy. That's just because of 311. So...
Whoa.
I'm just trying to come original with y'all.
Yoicks. That's funny. That's what I found on the good old interwebs, so who knows?
No, that's cool.
Everything you find online is truthful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I read everything online without a grain of salt at all.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Zero sodium.
all get our information from Facebook?
Wait, is that not common?
Are we?
But that tripped me out because I think there's bad auras too.
Mm-hmm.
So because the one woman was she was selling CBD and essential oil. She was like that was the other one too. Was like the crystal healing people. It's like, are you into that at all? Or?
I think I like crystals because like natural things do bring natural energy. Like
agree.
And I'm not like one of those crazy people who's going to be like, let me sell you this $5,000 crystal and it'll heal your life. I think that's crazy.
This crystal is going to heal your cancer.
Or like that lady trying to sell us that bracelet.
Sloan Kettering or an Amherst. Whatever you want to do.
Exactly. It's like, I'm going to go with science on this one. But I mean, like, there's some crazy fucking. As soon as you said crystals and the oils, I'm like,
I've already got this
I'm already
profile of a person.
Yeah.
I already know who the hell you're talking about, too,
Yeah.
which is just like, fuck.
There's the one you're thinking of is also a person. My cousin Pam is super into that stuff too. So she's also one of the people who's like, "Have you got like a blue aura going on?" Right? And it's I
love your cousin
either
Pam.
that or I wear Saint Brendan. He's the patron saint of sailors.
Mm-hmm.
This was given to me by a priest at the church that I was baptized in before I left for boot camp. I haven't taken it off since then. And I had it out one day, and then one of my writing professors came up to me, the same woman who told me, she goes, "You have a very blue aura that comes through," and she goes, "By the way, I don't know if that's like your token or something, but that was shining. I could feel energy coming off of that one day." And I was just like sitting there like, did I? This is a 3-credit class. Are you sure? I need my skeptic side of it to keep me, because I guarantee you, if you got a psychic medium in there with me and had them talking to me a little, the same way that a really good tour guide in St. Augustine at the lighthouse or whatever would have you. If you didn't get the ghost stories beforehand, you just be like, I'm going to walk up to the top of this lighthouse and look out over the beautiful Matanzas Bay, which is gorgeous, and have a good time. But they tell you the ghost story beforehand, and now with every step, you're like, was the guy descending into madness? Was this a Robert Pattinson, Willem Dafoe situation? Yeah. So, I mean, I can be taken for that once you get me to believe. So that's why I have to have the skepticism as a shield to prevent me from caving in. So I admire you for just being somebody that is open and embraces it. That's actually, to me, a little bit braver, you know?
See, that's why I don't embrace conspiracy theories either. Because, like, I know for a fact if I were to get into that, I'd be tinfoil hat Christian up in this bitch, where I'd be like, "Yo, KP, we can't talk without my tinfoil hat on, man. Sorry,
Weird Al.
You'll steal the podcast ideas."
They'll tune into my podcast ideas.
But on that note, we like having people who are more skeptical on, because I need to be reeled in sometimes, first and foremost, because I'm too excited. But second, you need different opinions. You have to our biggest thing is, you have to debunk. You can't just go straight to, this is paranormal, supernatural, blah, blah, blah.
Or do it for everything. Literally.
Yeah.
Every single thing. I'll be like, well, that was a fucking ghost.
You have to be, you have to have some sane part of you. You have to. And that's why I like hearing your experiences, having other people write in, and then everyone taking, like, this is what we call the panel. Like, so having people on to hear the stories we get to, like, that are submitted to us, or we find on Reddit, whatever. Because it's, like, good to hear different perspectives.
I personally like having a platform that gives the chance for someone who has a different perspective to come on and talk passionately about their point, or even like discuss it during the panel or something. So it's really fantastic to have two different.
This is why we work, because I just blurt out a lot of word vomit and you take it and refine it. Thank you.
And on that note, I think we have had a spectacular friggin' episode
Hell
today.
Yes.
This was a fine friggin' panel. We didn't get to everything, but damn did we get some fantastic little
It was so great to come down from Saratoga Springs to hang out with you guys. I miss you so much, because I stare at my computer all day, so it's just so great to be out and about with actual human beings that emit energy, because, I sell crystals too on the side. So
I don't like that his body changes form. Like he takes on the physical manifestation of whatever this character.
Well, let's see, with 3 people in this room, they're all, it's like, what, 6'4", probably 6'5". They all take up their own amount of space, so I understand.
Yeah, Steve from Saratoga Springs is just very, he just likes to hang out, man. It's all good.
If I may, would it be okay? I wanted to if I could plug not just the show, but one in particular. I think you guys would get a kick out
plug
of.
whatever you
I was
want.
literally just about to get that, like, after I sold you limestone for your butt. If you keister it, the energy for at least 2 weeks, you will have a pure aura. But, KP, please.
It's either that or a bidet, right?
A bidet made out of limestone. Oh my God, there it is. I love this show. Oh God.
No, this is a good show. I was very happy to be on here. If I can, I just want to plug the my passion project, which that's actually how I got to meet all you guys. And so I was friendly with Mike and Ming beforehand from doing comedy and stuff. And then I got a show I do with my dad every week called American Loser. But the 2 handsome gentlemen sitting across from me were both sound engineers at one time or another. Both integral fun parts of the show too, but it's every week is a different weird story from American history. The one in particular I think you might get a kick out of was we talked about Edgar Cayce. who was, you know about him?
Yes, I've heard Casey.
The sleeping
Okay.
prophet of Kentucky.
Yes.
Who used to just
Yes.
They used to literally, you could put like, he would just sit there and just start speaking, and he would know things about people.
He would lay on books and
Yeah,
shit,
I was
right?
gonna say
Yes.
he'd lay on the books.
And then the books informate me. He was a fascinating guy.
I know another episode that she would like. The sisters. They got debunked, but we talked about the sisters who were psychics.
Well, yeah, there were sisters who would they would tap something. I forget the exact name of it, but they were part of it because we also did a great Houdini episode.
Oh yeah,
Because Houdini, by the way, diehard skeptic.
Yeah.
And hated people who were taking advantage of the spiritualists.
Wouldn't he show
Yeah.
up and be like, I'm going to debunk what you're doing?
Oh,
Because like he was like, I believe in the craft so much and you're taking advantage of all these gullible people.
Yes.
Oh, that's so
He
fucking
gave
cool.
when he died, before he died, he gave his wife a special code to know, like, you'd know if this person is actual psychic or whatever by this code, and it got leaked. So when his wife heard the code from a psychic, they put it in the papers. Oh, it's real. But then she found out that this person had found out from a close source, and then she had to like retract her statement. Like, no, like he didn't come to me.
Well, the reason he got pissed, if I remember right, and it's a pretty good reason, was he was very close with his mom. You know what I mean? And Houdini's a pretty badass dude, but he's very close with his mom. And when she passed away, a psychic medium says, well, I'm going to contact your mother. Oh, your mother is saying this. And Houdini just goes, well, that's weird because my mother didn't speak English, you fucking fraud. and then had a lifelong, because you took the idea of him trying to reconnect with his mother and you toyed with that. And then he just spent the rest of his life just roughing up people who were doing that.
Yeah.
I have so much respect for being able to do that too. Like that's awesome.
I know what I'll be listening to on. Can I get that on Spotify or Apple Music or any of those beautiful places?
Yeah, we're on all platforms. I should probably put the Edgar Casey one up on YouTube too, just so people can check it out, man. But it was anywhere podcasts can be found. The show is called American Loser Podcast. It comes out every Tuesday. Is the free episodes. We got a Patreon for $5 a month. You get the bonus stuff.
Hell yeah!
That's where you get to hear Criss chiming in on the War of 1812 on that one.
Oh yeah.
Did you know it lasts 3 years?
But also, no, you guys, this was very fun to do. So thank you guys for bringing
Yay!
it.
Thanks for coming. Thank you, Christian, again for coming
Thank
back.
you so
Yeah,
much.
plug everything, anything else anyone needs. Anyone personal
Does
handles.
someone have
anything?
a Christmas song coming out?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a Christmas song coming out next week called I Saw Santa Claus, and then actually, surprise, week after that, doing another Christmas song drop. So 2 for the price of 1, and that one's actually going to be a charity single. So,
I saw Santa not wearing a mask.
oh god, shit, you ruined the surprise. But yeah, that's all I got.
Well, thank you to A Shared Universe for letting us use the space because
Absolutely.
I love coming in here to A, earn money, but to B, do my passion project, which is podcasting. So
You guys have a good one too.
I couldn't be happier about doing this. And with that, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I'm sorry that we got this episode late.
Yeah, RB.
But life happens.
If you want to be a part of our show, if you want to write in a story, etc., ghosted with Criss and Paige at gmail.com.
You can contact us at Instagram.
Yes, ghosted WCP. And then, Twitter, GWCP_podcast. Bam! There it is.
And if you are a ghost, knock something off the shelf and let us know you want to be on the show.
Yes. Yes.
Oh shit, look my phone.
All the pop figures just are flying.
Imagine.
Man, one of those things is vibrating up there. I wonder if that American pop. What? And with that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Stay spooky.